I am Bali Kupega. I'm with SENBI in their Working for Wetlands program. And my position within Working for Wetlands is a provincial coordinator for KwaZulu-Natal. I grew up in Kranskop, which is in the Midlands. It's east of Pietermaritzburg. And I grew up in a small village called Ntunjambili. You know, I got to varsity in 1996 and I did a whole lot of courses for the BSc degree, the majors being in biological sciences. And in my third year, I had an opportunity to go on a field trip to Winen Nature Reserve. And for the first time in my life, I was exposed to nature in a sense that I never thought, you know, it existed in before. Because I mean, growing up in a rural area, I wasn't exposed to all the environmental issues, and I mean, I wasn't very cautious of the environment. I'd never seen a clean flowing river before. I'd never seen, you know, wild animals in the wild before. I'd seen them on TV, and I think from that point onward, I decided this is, you know, what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Just make sure that there is more and more areas that are kept in a good condition, and I think that kick-started my passion for the environment. I've been involved with the Working for Wetlands program since 2005. Over the years that I've been with the program, there are wetlands where one looks at the before and looks at the after, and you get a good feeling because you can actually see with your eyes that change has taken place. The area that we're standing on is called the Kleinspan wetland. It's one area of the larger system, which is the Mkuzi floodplain wetland. Before this area was put under conservation, it used to be used for agriculture. When wetlands are being cultivated, they are drained. What you see these guys doing is they are removing a large earthen beam, get the soil where it's not supposed to be, and move it back to where it was taken. We make it flat so that it also does not, you know, interfere with the movement of water. We are also concerned about job creation. The guidelines that come through with the funding is that we need to strictly employ local people, and we need to ensure that in the groups of people that are employed on a project in a particular year, there is 60% women, there is 25% youth. And this project is one of those projects that have achieved it quite well. Another big impact, which in my opinion is even more valuable, is the fact that they're doing rehab on an environment that's benefiting them. So in the long run, by being involved in the fixing of Janeche Pen, for example, they've secured a resource for fishing. And for as long as the river comes down in flood, you know, they will fish, and their children and their children's children. And there are many other resources that, you know, their wetland on the communal side in particular provides. And for me, that's how I look at it. And I think it's you know, the long-term impacts are even much bigger than, you know, the short-term financial gains. There are other advantages for downstream users, and a whole lot of those people rely on water from wetlands for various things. They drink direct from rivers and pens. They fish from rivers and pens. They harvest resources for craft work, for building houses from rivers and wetlands. So nani lolo lwazi niyadlulisa manje nidlulisele ey'nganeni. Awuthi ke ngizame ke futhi manje. Thi ngithatha okukhulu khona ngikunqamule still la. Okay. Okay. For a long time, wetlands were viewed as being swamps and areas that no one needs for anything. The whole world did not have a grasp on the benefits of wetlands, and I guess that is why there's so much degradation, which continues even up to this day. If you are drinking water from South African systems, then wetlands should be your concern. Because, for example, people that live in urban areas believe that the water that they open their taps and drink comes from dams, and dams get that water from rainfall. And then you ask people, how do dams fill up in winter and in drought? And then people just think dams just miraculously have water all the time. And most people don't think about those dynamics, I guess, because of lack of exposure. And it's really when you start telling people about the sponge effect of wetlands and how they slowly release water into the rivers and how dams are actually supplied by those rivers, that most people then start thinking, oh, hang on, we didn't have that understanding before. Mkuzi floodplain plays a major role in supplying fresh water to the downstream areas. Most people would know that Isimangaliso, which was previously called St. Lucia Wetland Park, lies downstream of the Mkuzi floodplain. And when the initial proposal from Ezemvelo came through to Senbi to get the Mkuzi Wetland floodplain rehabilitated, there was their flag objective. We need more fresh water down in the St. Lucia system. And Mkuzi actually has been mentioned as one of the main suppliers of fresh water down into the Mkuzi system. But it also plays another role of filtering sediment. Senbi believes that if we can restore as much of the floodplain as possible, then we will improve its ability to filter most of that sediment. I really do think South Africa has potential to utilize its biodiversity to everyone's benefit. Firstly, South Africa is a biodiversity-rich country. And if we stopped degrading our environment and found ways of using it to everyone's benefit, then I think we really have a good chance at getting it right. But like I say, it requires resources, both human and financial, and it requires quite a lot of education and awareness. But I think with a combination of all those, we can get it right.